chapter 5. We have done part 3. Then we should discuss. Then we should have done part 2. So hari ini we should discuss about part 3 lah. How's everyone? Okay, good. Okay. Jangan lupa lah, we're going to have a test on this Sunday, right? Sunday kita start pukul 9 lah. Pukul 9. Yeah, yes, correct. I will. Yes. Then maybe a few minutes for you to upload. Agak-agak berapa lama untuk you upload? 30 too long. Cannot lah. Nah, okay, WhatsApp me, no problem. Just WhatsApp me. So what appears on the screen now basically is the what is that? Chapter 5.3 lah. I'm supposed to cancel the class today, but I don't want to cancel. So very right, yeah. I propose a different later on. All right. So let's start. Make sure that I start record. Okay, then. Good afternoon, everyone. So this chapter is going to talk about. It's also going to discuss about sensitivity, but we're going to talk about sensitivity for the constraint. Okay. We're going to use the same example yang we have discussed so far. The beaver creek pottery Sdn Bhd example, we're going to use this. And then we're going to discuss about sensitivity for the constraint. So to recap, in chapter 5, part 2, we discuss about sensitivity. I will adjust this a little bit. Sensitivity range. Sensitivity for the objective functions. Okay, and then in chapter 5, part 2, we name these two as the coefficients of x1 and the coefficient of x2. So what we have done in part 2 of chapter 5 was we identify a limits whereby limits of the sensitivity or the range of sensitivity demands when the objective coefficient is changing from A to B without changing the optimum solution. Still remember that? Still remember? Part 2? Yeah. Still remember, huh? So in part 2, we talk about sensitivity range for x1 and sensitivity range for x2. So sensitivity range for positive function referring to a range di mana optimum solution tak berubah walaupun the selling price or the coefficient of objective functions berubah daripada A ke B. So that is what we discussed in chapter 5, part 2. Today, we're going to talk about sensitivity range for constraint. So this sensitivity range for constraint is referring to sensitivity range for these two numbers. What are these two numbers? What are these two numbers representing? Apa masuk 40? 40 itu masuk apa? Anyone can remember? Resource, right? Resource the variable, right? So daripada chapter from chapter 2 to chapter 4, we call these two numbers as the resources that available or the requirements of the resources. So from chapter 5 onwards, we're going to call it differently. So first thing, I'm going to introduce you another new terms. So from chapter 5, part 3 onwards, we're going to call these two numbers as right-hand side value. Right hand, left hand and right hand. So because these two numbers is at the right-hand side, so we call these two numbers as the right-hand side value. Okay. Why we call right-hand side? Yeah, like what I explained, that because at right-hand side. On top of that, this is a standard term that used in most of the computer software for linear programming. As well as I know, the software that I used before, the term used to define the requirement for the constraint or the resources that are available for the constraint, we call it right-hand side value. So this is point number one, right-hand side value. Ada dekat slide lah, but I don't like to look at the slide first. So we talk about sensitivity range for constraint. Sebenarnya we are talking about sensitivity range for the right-hand side value. Okay, and sensitivity range for right-hand side value is defined as Q. Example, sensitivity range untuk constraint label is Q1 and sensitivity range untuk claim is Q2. So basically, this is a general idea. Instead of looking at the slide one by one, I try to explain to you what I want to remember. So the difference between these two, C, C is representing the sensitivity range for objective functions, coefficients, when Q representing the sensitivity range for constraint, or rather that the sensitivity range for right-hand side value. Clear kan? Sampai sini clear ya? Clear? Hello everyone?
Clear.
Afternoon.
Clear, Doctor.
Alright, so sama seperti selling price lah. In real world, we can keep on changing selling price. In the setting and industry setting, we can change label and claim. Okay. Sensitivity range for objective function, this is many times mentioned that sensitivity range for objective function is to define a range di mana optimum solution tak berubah walaupun the coefficients tukar tak berubah. However, sensitivity range untuk right-hand side value serve the different purpose. And this purpose is slightly difficult to understand, which is I will explain to you earlier. So before I move into the next slide, a few things highlighted. Number one, the symbol used to represent sensitivity range untuk objective is C1, untuk right-hand side value is Q1 and Q2. Then sensitivity range for objective referring to sensitivity range untuk the coefficients. Sensitivity range for constraint referring to the sensitivity range for the right-hand side value. The one that we still not able to answer now is that sensitivity range for objective function is to identify or define a range di mana when the coefficients tukar berubah, the optimal solution remain unchanged. Tetapi what is the purpose of this range for sensitivity range for right-hand side value? I'm going to explain to you earlier. Okay, so apa yang saya discuss dekat slide ini sebenarnya ada dekat slide yang berikut. Example, this slide try to tell you that in fact not only selling price can change, resources could change. Okay, so you should expect in real life, in the setting of industry, resources also will change, not only selling price. And change of resources, we are interested to know the resources that are available or the constraint of resources di mana we call these two number as, where is my pointer? We call these two number as right-hand side value. Saya dah cerita lah, right-hand side value. So right-hand side value also can change. Example, labor. If you are operating a company today, you have 40 hour, 40 man hour. You can increase to 80 by either with additional headcount, or you can arrange for OT. You also could increase the crane that you purchase, or you can also could reduce the crane you purchase from 120 to 100 because of maybe insufficient supply or whatever. So we also need to deal with this type of changes in real life. So back to the question that we not yet answered, like what is the purpose of studying sensitivity range for right-hand side value? Before we answer this question, why you want to study this? Before you answer this question, I'm going to introduce to you the third term. What is third? The first term that I introduced to you is the right-hand side. The second is the Q. Oh, the first term that introduced beginning of the chapter is right-hand side value. Right-hand side value here. Then subsequently, I introduce to you another new term, Q. Then, in order to answer the question of why we need to study sensitivity range for right side value, you need to know another term that called solution variable mix. What is this? What is this solution variable mix? I'm going to use the next slide. I think, yeah, correct. Next slide. All right. You're still with me, yeah? Okay. Okay, so we focus on sensitivity range of right-hand side value for constraint number 1, which is labor. The labor. We worked out the solutions using the graphical method. The solution for this linear programming to maximize profits. What is this solution? Basically, in chapter 2, we called it as product mix. This is called product mix. Why we call product mix is because this company is producing 2 products. It could be more than 2. One is ball, one is mug. So the objective for this linear programming is to identify how many balls should be made by the company, how many mug should be made by the company in order to maximize profit. So that's the reason that we call it product mix. Okay, and then in graphical methods approach, we really identify the optimal solutions for this linear programming is the company should produce ball and mug. Should produce both. And in order to maximize profit, should produce 24 ball and 8 mug. This is the original solution. This original solution. Okay. So example is today, I change the optimal solution. Example, I change the optimal solution to here. To here. B dash, I change to here. What happens? What happened will be the solution here, the solution at B dash here will still suggest me to produce certain number of balls, certain number of mug. Am I right? Am I right, Chris? Chris, am I right? Okay. Zafira answer on behalf of Chris. Yeah. Okay. So kalau saya tukar from B to B dash or B whatever here, the quantity will change. The quantity of mug and ball will change. However, the solutions for this linear programming still will propose me to produce certain quantity of ball, certain quantity of mug. Agree? Agree?
Agree, Doctor.
Okay, thank you very much. Agree. Therefore, we are saying that changing from B to B dash, there's no change. There's no change on the solution variable mix. Why? Because B at B, the solution proposed me to produce both model. Dua model produce. At B dash, sama. Also asked me to produce 2 model. So daripada B ke B dash, B dot, quantity of ball and mug produce berubah, tetapi solution variable mix tak berubah, masih produce certain quantity of ball, certain quantity of mark. If I change again to B double dot, the same thing. Dekat B double dot, still will propose me to produce certain quantity of ball, certain quantity of mark. The solution rival mix tak berubah juga sebab masih produce dua produk. Tetapi bila sampai point A, the solution will be don't produce ball, produce 20 mark. In this case, we say the solution rival mix tak berubah, change. Why? Why change is because instead of propose to produce two models, now the solution is proposing to produce only one model. So in this case, we are saying that the solution rival mix berubah, change. Faham? Yang ni faham? Saya dah explain in very slow phase lah. Very slow phase. Faham semua?
Faham, Doktor.
Okay, good.
Faham, Doktor.
Again, example, if the point is changed until C, regardless dari mana lah. If from A, this is A, this is B. If the solution is changed from A to C, we are also saying that the solution rival mix change. Sebab originally the solution proposed me to produce kedua-dua produk, but sampai C only recommended me to produce ball don't produce mark, dah tukar. Atau daripada B to C pun sama. Why change is because originally the solutions suggested me to produce only mark, don't produce any ball. But sampai C berubah, produce ball, don't produce mark. So this is a scenario of solution rival mix. Okay, so you need to understand why solution rival mix further. Q1 representing sensitivity range for constraint 1. So the purpose is we want to identify A and B di mana kalau the right hand side value berubah daripada A ke B, solution rival mix tak berubah. Maksudnya, if the main hour the variable is from A to B, the solution will still propose Beaver Creek Pottery to produce two model walaupun kuantiti tak sama. Okay. Kalau A and go beyond, B and go beyond, then the solution rival mix akan berubah. Maksudnya, solution will propose either produce ball or produce mark. So that is the meaning of sensitivity range for right hand side value. Range di mana apabila constraint requirement berubah, solution rival mix tak berubah. Sampai sini faham? Understand? Kalau faham, then mengapa kita nak cari range? Why we want to define this range? What is the purpose? Kalau if in chapter 5 part 2 we try to define the range for objective function, the purpose or the reason is very clear cut. I want to know when I change the price, what's the range of the price, what is the range of price that I could change without have impact on the optimal solution. Ini very clear cut. Tetapi ini apa? Why I want to find this range? For what purpose? Any thoughts? What do you think that why it make our life so difficult to find this range? Tak ada. Okay, in the company, if I'm the operation manager, example, if I'm the operation manager, Chris, I have three options. If you are the operation manager, there are three options. There are the three options for you to organize your operation. A, B, C. Which one you would prefer? You can run. Why A and C? A and C. A, oh, okay. You're right. A and C, because I write this one wrongly. Is it? No. You're right. Hey, Chris, you're right, because I wrote this wrongly. You're right. Because this is A, right? So it's A and C. You're right. You're right. A and C, because if you only produce one product, the internal resources, the skill or the labor, internal material you need to purchase, the equipment you need to use, the assembly line, everything become simple as compared to produce a mixed product. So it will become to a scenario that one day perhaps the company intend to simplify the operation, then only want to produce one product. So if that is the case, then sensitivity analysis will help the company to decide, okay, what changes is required on the resources. Okay, we use this before. In fact, in my ex-company, we use this before. But it's not only talking about two products. It's talking about a few products. Talking about a few products. All right. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain to you. Okay, the next few slides basically is only repeat what I explained earlier on. These are the explain what is a solution variable mix, what is sensitivity range. So the next few slides is explaining in words. So if you try to read, carry the same meaning. Example, what is sensitivity range for objective functions? For right hand side value, sorry. If a range demanded, the optimum quantity can change, boleh berubah, tetapi without changing the solution mix. Solution mix tak berubah. Example, if you are changing from 8 bowl, 24 mark to 10 bowl, 20 mark, we are saying that no change on solutions. Variable mix. Sebab you're still producing two products, you're still producing both. However, if you change from 8 ball 24 mark to 0 ball 30 mark, then we're saying that, yeah, there's a change on the solution mix. Okay. Okay, now, in this case, faham kan? Faham so far? So the next question is, in objective functions, we identify objective function sensitivity. How we identify A and B? We identify A and B based on the gradient. Am I right? Remember? The gradient. So my next question is, if the right hand side value change, what is the impact on the constraint line? Okay, to help you see, in objective function, we are saying that if the selling price change, the gradient change. Am I right? In objective function, that is the case. How about in constraint? If the right hand side value change, what will be changing? What will be changing?
The intersect value.
Yes, exactly. The intersect value. Why is because y equal to mx plus c. This is the intersect value. Okay, you don't believe, you take a look on the next slide. Okay, example. If we are changing the label at arrival, the right hand side value for the label constraint to 100 or to 20, what's the impact? Let's look into the constraint for labor first. if we convert the constraint from the label to this, as what we have done, we did yesterday, right? I think, yeah, yesterday, right? So kalau kita transform the format into the y equal to mx plus c, then plus 20 is referring to the intercept at x2 axis or y axis. So this is 20, yeah. So how I get 20? The original 40, why 20 is because there's a 2 here, like it's a 2 here. So 40 divided by 2 equal to 20. So based on this logic, if I change the right-hand side value for the first constraint to 100, what will be changing? The only thing will change is the intercept at x2 will change to, yes, 100 divided by 2, which is here, 50. So I just draw a parallel line. The line that parallel. This line, the red color line, representing the line for the label constraint, the red color line. So same thing. If I changing, I reduce the resources available into the label to 20, I expect a line that intersect at 10. So by saying so, means in order for me to identify A and B, what I need to do is to identify at which point the line intersect with x2. Okay, I will take you through more detail later on. Okay, so example. If you understand what I explained earlier, then it's enough. If not, then you look at this example. If still stick to the constraint for label, if we are changing the line from 40 and increase the label to 60, okay, 40 means the red color line, 60 the blue color line. So we are changing the optimum point from B to B naught. So what happens? You can see that in fact the solutions, the quantity for Mark and Bro change, however, the solution mix remain the same. Agree? This is still producing two products. This is still producing two products. Am I right? In this, I already explained earlier, in fact. So if you continue doing this, you will find that when you start shifting the point, you will find that when reach point A, then the solutions mix change. The solution mix change, which is instead of producing two products, at point A, the solution proposed that only producing Mark, don't produce any Bo. So by saying so, what's implication? Same thing happens on if I'm moving the constraint line. If I'm moving the constraint line downwards, there'll be a point whereby here the solution mix change instead of producing two products into one product. So what do you notice from this view slide? What do you notice from this view slide? Any special thing that you notice from this view slide? There's one thing I want to bring across. Not the gradient, the point. Okay, so if you, where is my, okay. If you look at what I try to show you on this view slide is what we want to do now. We want to identify the sensitivity range for right-hand side value of the label constraint. We want to identify A and B for Q1. how to identify A and B for Q1? You need to identify 2 points. From the 2 points, then you can identify the limit for Q1, upper and lower. And where does this 2 points come from? All right, you see, the red color here representing the constant line for the label. All right, ignore this one. How about the other line here? How about the other line here? What is this line representing? This line representing constant line for clay. Agree? Agree? Agree. Okay, now, important. You must listen this carefully. Yeah. There are two constraints. Constraint 1, constraint 2. I want to find the sensitivity range for constraint 1. I want to find this. I want to find this. So I need to identify 2 points. Where are these 2 points? These 2 points is when constraint 2 intersect at x1 and x2. Okay, I want to find the sensitivity range for the red color line. The sensitivity range for the red color line occur at 2 points where the constant line for constraint 2, which is the green color, intersects at x2 and x1. So this point is, what is this point? This point is 30, 0. And how about this point? This point is 0, 40. So these are the 2 points that which you can further analyze to define the A and B. Sampai sini faham? Ada dua constraint. Dua constraint. Satu merah, satu hijau. I want to find the sensitivity range untuk yang merah. How to find? First thing, cari point yang garisan hijau intersect dekat X1 dengan X2. So if I do that, what I will get? I will get these 2 points. Exactly that what I showed you earlier. So sebenarnya, in the book ask you to move up, move down lah. Tak payah sebenarnya. You just define in that way lah. Okay. Bila dah dapat 2 point ni, apa saya nak buat? Okay, I already found these 2 points lah. So what I'm doing now, I'm doing the sensitivity range for label constraint. And what is the constraint? This constraint. Am I right? So I'm going to replace this number or this point into the constraint. So the constraint saying that x1 plus 2x2. So I replace this point in 0 plus 2, 40. I get 80. How about here? I do the same thing. Hey, do I press the record button? Oh, yes. Okay. If not, I'm not going to repeat. So this is 30 plus 0 equal to 30. So now, what will be the range? From 30 to 80 or 80 to 30? Yeah, 30 to 80. Yeah. So the range, the sensitivity range for constraint 1 for the label constraint is from 30 to 80. Maksudnya, if I'm the boss of this company, I want to change the label, I must make sure, that I must change between this range. If I don't change between this range, end out that my production should only produce one product. You can take in that way lah. Okay, saya boss, saya kata saya nak kurangkan operator atau saya nak tambah OT, I must make sure that I must do it between 30 to 40. Kalau more 80 and more atau 30 and more, company will not able to produce 2 products. That is not the optimum solution, Eric. So that is the implication. Atau another application, I'm producing two products. I want to produce only one product. What should I do? I can increase the level to beyond 80. I can reduce the level to less than 30. Then I will only produce one product. Faham? Clear? Okay. Then to make sure that you really understand, then we do the second one. Play this constraint. It refers to this node. The node will ask you to move the line up and down. Okay. But I'm not going to do that first. The red color line here representing the constant line for the crate. Okay. As I told you, in order to find the so-called sensitivity range for the red color line for constraint 2, what I need to do is just I need to identify 2 points whereby the other constraint intersect at axis x1 and x2. So from there, in fact, I don't need to move the line up and down. As shown in the slide, I don't need to do that. Immediately, I can identify 2 points. What are these 2 points? What is this point? This point is 14, 0. And then this point is, yeah, I found that. I found these 2 points without go through the process that explained by the, okay, if you want to look at the note is saying that move the line up until you touch the end of the constraint, another constraint line. And you move, you identify 40, 0. Sebenarnya tak payah. You just do it, whatever that I did earlier on. If you move down, then you identify another point, yeah? Okay, so you can just follow my method. Then you found these 2 lines, these 2 points. Oh, we're going to finish with this 2 points. So replace into the constraint for x1 plus 3, x2. So this case is 4, 40 plus 0 is 160. In this case is 0 plus 3, 20, 60. So, okay. Then the range is 60 to 160 means if I'm the boss of this company, if I want to stick to producing 2 products, I must make sure that the supply of the crate must between the range of 60 to 160. If below 60, then I must take actions, change my production plan to produce 1 product. If more than 160, to optimize my profit, I should change my production plan to only producing 1 product, don't produce both. If not, I'm not able to maximize my profit. Faham tak? When it comes to, okay, then I will the subsequent slide is the tutorial. I stop recording. When come to next week, next week, you will start sort of like, next week we're going to use QN window to solve the linear programming that we developed so far. And from that side, next week we're going to use QN window to solve the linear programming that we have developed so far. In QN window, if you want to study the sensitivity range, you just click one button, then everything like that. I can just teach in the way saying that, okay, this is sensitivity range. But by showing you the output from QN window, you don't understand the concept, you see. So it's necessary for you to go through this manual calculation first. All right. By saying so, again, as per usual, there are quite a number of tutorials waiting for you. But I suggest you don't bother about the tutorial first. Focus on your test. The test will be on Sunday, 9 to 10 p.m. Sharp 10 p.m. But I maybe allocate 10 minutes for you to scan and upload. If 10 minutes you're not able to scan and upload, you just contact me, WhatsApp me. Okay, because I do it online, then I didn't monitor through Webex, so I must stick to the durations. Okay, I will not sort of like extend the duration. Okay, then to recap, soalan 1 is to develop a linear programming, quite similar to what you have done in chapter 2 and 3. And soalan 2 is to solve a given linear programming using graphical method. Okay, and bring along your graph paper. I'm not able to supply you graph paper. You want me to send through what DHL to you? It's too late. Okay, so we're going to do tests on Monday. So my advice is you focus to do the revision. Then the tutorial for chapter 5, you do it after your test. You do it after your test. Then we only will discuss tutorial for sensitivity for chapter 5 on next Thursday. Next Monday, we're going to discuss, you must make sure that your QN for window ready. We're going to solve the linear programming using QN window. We're also going to talk about the sensitivity analysis result from QN window. We can cover 6 and 7 in a week, in fact. So then Monday, I will show you these two. This kejap saja sebenarnya. Sebab QN for window, when you click a button, right, your basic solution, your sensitivity, your dual value, everything will be there. Then on next week also, I'm going to brief you your project and individual assignments. Okay, it's in e-learning. So before we end our class, just want to make sure that where is the, let me see whether I'm still opening your e-learning. This is section 2, right? Okay, what appears on the screen now, Chris? A lesson plan? Oh, I always forgot to send, to share. Luckily, I noticed okay. So this is e-learning for section 2. So your test, you need to submit online in e-learning. And then you can find a test between topic 4 and 5. Okay, between topic 4 and 5. I put submit online before 10 p.m., but I will give you another 10 minutes. I will do a setting later on for you to scan and upload. Okay. Then that's it for today. Where is the attendance? Section 2. So we done topics chapter 5. We start 12, is it? 12, is it? Yeah. You can scan. Then I'm going to start my PhD proposal defense very soon.